This is Car Guys New England, and today's video is just going to be, we're going to go through just some of the buttons to show you guys kind of where all the controls are for different things in the Lamborghini Murcielago. So anyways, let's get started.
Interference defense active.
Alright, so one of the first controls that you're going to see when you get into a Lamborghini Murcielago is going to be this panel right here. It's very common for these to be scratched off where you can't really read them well. Actually, when I got the car, these were all scratched up. So I had to replace this switch unit, and believe it or not, it was $1,500. Just absolutely ridiculous. And over time, it'll probably end up wearing out. But anyways, just a quick run over of this. This is your reverse switch for the car. That's how you put it into reverse. This is your interior lighting. These are your different parking lights, things like that. However, your headlights are controlled on this stalk, and you just simply twist this, and it'll turn your headlights on. Twist it again, shuts them off. Pretty simple. Same thing with high beams. We just twist it, turn it on. There's high beams, low beams, shut them off. Then the next buttons that we have here are around the bezel. This is your display brightness, I believe, which it's not going to work unless the car's actually on. And this one, I believe, is a chronometer. And then this one over here gives you interesting stats. Let me close the door, and I'll actually show you. Okay. So, if we hit this button, distance to empty, which it's this button right here. There's the chrono. Max acceleration, max speed, average trip speed, trip speed max, and also your battery power if you want to look at that. And then back to the clock, and obviously you can set the clock through here, although a lot of times I hit the battery kill switch, so it's just a lot easier to just leave it be, quite frankly. Then there's this resume button, or RES. I'm not 100% sure on what that particular button does. And let's move on to a few other interesting things. Okay, so this just controls your wipers and also your washers, things like that on that stalk. Then we move over to this panel, which just flips up. It's real simple. And this is your air conditioning and heating unit. Pretty straightforward. The only thing that I'd point out about this is that there is no off button. But if you put the fan all the way to low using these buttons up or down, you can control the fan speed, whether it go up, down, and then also these two control the temperature. And then these buttons are pretty self-explanatory, so you can see where it's coming out and things like that. This button I think is kind of funny because the car's a roadster, and that's supposed to recirculate the cabin air, so go figure. Then moving down, we have the radio. That's the ALP control module next to it, so we won't worry about that. Now let's go to the center console, and let's talk about the buttons on here. Alright, now moving on to the center console. So this row of buttons, this will control your side view mirrors, depending on which side you toggle on, and then you can move your mirrors around. This is front lift. TCS, I believe that is traction control system. And then this button is the Batwing button, which lifts the wings up, although you're better off honestly just letting it come up on their own when it's warm out when the ambient temperature is a little bit higher. Then on the e-gear selector plate here, we have sport mode, which what that does is if you hit this button, the car will no longer automatically shift, so you better not be an idiot and let the car redline, and you should know when to shift. This button does absolutely nothing. And this is also, I believe, a traction control button or something. I haven't really played with it. One thing to point out, you can do launch control in this car, and I believe it's by playing around with these buttons and putting the car in sport mode. Awful for your clutch. I don't recommend it. Just something to point out. Next here, hidden between my well, on each side of my phone holder here, these are the power window switches. And then moving along, this is the gas door switch, which I need to clean. This is the hazard lights. And then this folds in your mirrors. And then we'll show you the next set of buttons here. So the next set of buttons we have in the console are behind us, which are your map lights. And they're also adjustable, so you can adjust them any way that you want. That's completely up to you. And then within each door, you just have a door lock button. And it's pretty straightforward. All right, so you're probably wondering, where do you keep registration, insurance papers, stuff like that? That would be in here, and they don't give you a lot of room. It's not very deep, but I got my registration and everything in here. That just lifts up. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Then the other feature that I wanted to point out is this panel here. You just pull it out. It's held in by Velcro. And if you really wanted to put a child seat in here, there's a latch attachment for a child seat. Obviously, the child would have to be big enough to be forward facing, although I wouldn't want to have a child seat, obviously, on this nice Italian leather. But that's just one feature of the car, so if you have a little one and you really want to take them in here, you certainly can. And a couple other things to point out. So there is a lever for the bonnet release, which is right here. Also, on the side of the column at the bottom, there's an adjustment, and that's telescoping for the wheel. So if you want to move the wheel in or out, you certainly can. And then to open the rear bonnet, there is this lever here, and it's just in the door jamb. And then your seats also have adjustments as well, where you can adjust the tilt of the seat and then the lumbar support and everything in there. So anyways, I hope that orientates you to some of the buttons and doodads and features within the Lamborghini Murcielago. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, be sure to comment down below. Again, this is Car Guys New England. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care.